Hi guys, welcome back to FVSD Life. This is video number 4 for Carers Week, and today I'm actually doing a little Q&A for carers. Well, a Q&A about carers. And yeah, so today I've actually got answering questions with a pot of tea, and I've also got a little jug of milk. And I've also got my cup as well. And the reason why I'm doing tea, but Q&A with a cup of tea, is because today it is the Queen's birthday. So yeah, unfortunately I don't have any scones or cakes or anything. To be honest with this, I'm probably going to blow like nothing else anyways. So yeah, let's get right into it. First, let's pour a cup of tea. Also, if you hear weird background, it's simply because it's a hot day and loads of people are playing, and we also got a washing machine on, so yeah. Milk. I don't do sugar in my tea. I'm actually sweet enough as it is. Oh yeah. That's perfect. So question number 1 is, are you able to switch off being a carer? So it is a lot more harder to switch off, because obviously when I'm at my friend's house it is supposed to be a chill out day, but the thing is I find myself still busting around trying to help them, and it's just, I offer to make a cup of tea, I start cleaning as well, or putting things away. I just do lots of little bits. Even if I'm at a coffee shop or something, I find myself tidying up tables just to make things easier for the baristas or something. And yeah, so it's difficult to switch it off, because you always have that at the back of your mind. You worry about the person that you're caring for, and you also, it's just, yeah, it's not easy. It's really, really not easy. Right, question number 2 is, will you ever move out? So obviously, as quite a lot of people know, the main reason why I live, one of the main reasons that I still live at home is because we don't have much support or help. So because of that, I sort of stay at home and help my mum, my sister and stuff. But the thing is, I actually had a meeting on the 7th of June, and actually I'm going to be talking about that in the next video. And I feel like we're going to be getting a lot more help, but the thing is, we're a family of where actions speak way louder than words. And yeah, so also the other reason why I still live at home is because it's just so expensive to live somewhere else. I mean, don't get me wrong, when there is more stuff in place and I'm more comfortable, I will consider moving out. But the thing is, I want to still live where we live now, which is South Oxley. I still want to live on the estate, so that way if something happens to Mum, I'm just down the road. I can, it'd be a lot easier and stuff. And also, another thing is, a lot of people do say to me, if there was someone else who's able to care for your mum, would you let them? And of course I would, I mean, I'm perfectly happy with letting someone else do it, but I've reached out to places, and quite a lot of places won't do it because they don't offer that sort of training for the carers that they use for patients or clients. But yeah, it's a difficult one, it really is. But we've been promised a few things. Hopefully things will be a lot easier for us. But yeah, it is what it is, The next question is, how did last year feel for you? So this is there were times, but the thing is that I mostly felt hopeless because Mum was stuck in hospital, and then she came out of hospital. She unfortunately had to go back in again. Yeah, I just felt beyond helpless. You know, it was difficult. There were quite a few situations where I wanted to help, but I couldn't. There was quite a lot of times, obviously, when Mum was out of hospital, and you know, we had to have a nurse come out and like look at Mum's stitches, and she would clean it and stuff, and you know, it was obvious signs of an infection and stuff. And the thing is, obviously, because of healing and things, we couldn't go to the doctor yet. But it reached a point of where the nurse sat there and just said, listen, I'm not going anywhere until you phone the doctor, until you actually get antibiotics today. And we're like, okay. So it was pretty serious then. Yeah, so another thing is that as I said in the second video, I felt so alone. I struggled, I really did, with my mental health. I cannot thank Mind enough for helping me out, helping me with the mental side. It was difficult because obviously with my sister refused to go to the hospital because of COVID and her own anxieties. Even when Mum was out of hospital, my sister she wasn't as helpful, so that made things a lot more difficult. So obviously I had to focus on Mum, and I had to focus on the house and do the shopping and the cleaning. It was so much. And the thing is, I know I keep saying it, but it was the loneliness more than anything. And yeah, I was terrified quite a lot, you know, and because I was really scared because I'd never seen Mum so much pain in my life. But fear, loneliness, I felt secluded as well. Yeah, but there was just so many feelings. But the thing is, I feel like what happened last year, it changed us as a family. It made us a lot more closer. It made us realise how precious life actually is. I was saying that we are, you know, I've actually done something really special for Mum. About a few weeks ago, we went to a place called FVSD Caves. Something that Mum's wanted to do for years, and I did it because she was just such a warrior last year. She was absolutely amazing. And yeah, so the next question is, do you receive carer's allowance? Right, so in the past I've been told that I actually can't receive carer's allowance because we were always told that only one person in the house can receive carer's allowance. And so because of that, Mum's received it because she's the carer for Ronnie. So yeah, but Ronnie, my sister. And yeah, but the thing is, I actually found out on the 7th that I can potentially receive it, so I'm actually going to apply for it at some point. But honestly, the amount that they pay is just so insulting for carers. Honestly, it's just, I can't get over it. It's just ridiculous how much money goes towards carers. It's ridiculous with carers allowance. But yeah, anyway, that's just a completely different thing. Yeah, no, I don't, but I will be at some points. The next question is, what is the worst situation that you've ever been in as a carer? Okay, so I would say that there's two really major situations. So when I was 10 years old, my mum had I heard noises from my bedroom. I woke up to these noises happening downstairs. And, you know, it was grumbling, it was gurgling, groaning, and I was thinking, what in the world is it? And so I walked downstairs and I found my mum having a grand mal seizure. I went running over to her. She was on the floor. It was a full-blown grand mal. I've seen her have a lot of seizures, but that's probably one of the worst I've ever seen. She actually, thankfully the night before I did actually have, I went to St John Ambulance, and weirdly enough, I was taught how to care for someone if someone has a seizure. So I put after the seizure, I put cushions around her. Oh no, I put cushions around her, I put her in the recovery position, and I made sure that the airways are clear. That wasn't the order of how I did it, but obviously, you know. I sat with her until she sort of like came round a little bit. Yeah, it was a genuinely terrifying experience to see the woman that brought you into the world so vulnerable, you know. And yeah, another situation was, and this is more recent, I don't know how to explain this. So me and my family went to Taunton to visit my aunts, my cousin, my uncle, just to see everyone basically. This was a good few years ago. No, not good, I'll say about 4 years ago. It was just before COVID hit, and we were waiting for my aunt, and so we went to a charity shop. We were looking inside. Obviously this was during one of the heat waves in the summer, so it was really, really, really hot. Mum was complaining of not feeling right, but she wanted to keep doing stuff. I was about to pay for something in the charity shop, and all of a sudden I hear, sis, mum, 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 mum. And I turn around and my sister is holding my mother in her arms because my mum has lost her balance. And I said to my sister to try and hold her, try and put her down. And my sister just physically couldn't hold her much longer, and she let her go. And my mum fell into the display cabinet, the display shelves that they have up. And yeah, so my mum did collapse, and she did have a little bit of a seizure as well. It was difficult because there was actually a bystander there who just went, hang on, I'll phone an ambulance. And I just looked at her and said, why do you need to do that? And she said, well, she just hurt herself. And I said, but she's going to be okay, she's fine, she just needs a little bit of time to recover. And she said, yeah, but I would feel a lot better if there would be someone, if there was a paramedic here. And I just sort of it's annoying because when it's annoying because obviously, like, bystanders, you do genuinely want to make sure that that person's okay. But the thing is, when it comes to a family member who are there with that person, it is difficult. Obviously, some people might be watching this and going, oh, but the bystander was it right and stuff, you're in the wrong. But I think it's just really, really difficult. While Mum was on the floor, my sister started panicking. She was like, oh my god, Mum's going to have to go to hospital now. Mum's going to go to hospital. We're in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, we were, you know, in Taunton. It was a heat wave. It was, you know. And so, yes. And because my sister was panicking and Mum was on the floor, I just looked at my sister and said, listen, either you stay in here and help me, or you go away, or you go outside and wait for the ambulance. She went, okay, fine. And so she went outside to the ambulance, to wait for the ambulance. shop assistant of the charity shop, she did actually, I'm just going to pour another cup of tea. She understood what had happened. She wasn't panicking. She sort of made sure that Mum was comfortable. She made sure, you know, she was so kind, and after everything I did offer to pay for the stuff that was broken. And she said, no, don't worry about it. And yeah, so when the paramedics came, it wasn't anything major. She just had heat exhaustion. Mum was a bazillion times better by the time they came round. It wasn't long, it's probably like less than 15 minutes, but I think because Mum, it wasn't like a grand mal or anything, she was just collapsed. That was pretty much it. She did have a little bit of a seizure, but it wasn't as bad as I'd ever seen. By the time paramedics came round, they saw Mum. Mum was talking, and so she said, honestly, I'm okay. I did phone my aunt, and my aunt, she said, okay, I'm on my way. So my aunt did come as well. She was a huge help. It was really difficult situation. Mum went into the ambulance. They looked at Mum and said, you seem to be okay, but I just want to get you in the ambulance, just give you a check over just in case. And yeah, so 5 minutes later she came out and they said, yeah, no, it was just heat exhaustion. She seems to be fine. We are worried about her blood pressure, but that's just one of Mum's health conditions. She's got high blood pressure, and that's one issue when we do have to phone ambulances out, is because they go, oh, but we need to take her to hospital because of the blood pressure. And with that, and every time I'm just like, no, she's okay, honestly. And Mum does agree. She's always like, yeah, no, I'm fine, honestly. And yeah, so we signed a bit of paperwork and we went. But yeah, it was because of how hot it was. Mum did collapse from the heat and stuff. So we sat her down, she had some drinks. And yeah, that was just the other situation. It was just so, that was completely different to when I was a child. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is, you know. For the last question, I believe, is this the last? Yes. What life lesson can you give as a carer? So there's quite a few things that I could say. I would say the main thing is, when it comes to caring for a person, you need to scream, you need to shout, you need to voice. You are that person's voice, you speak for them. And the thing is, in the past, we didn't really speak, you know, because obviously, yeah, we didn't really speak or voice our opinions, but more recently, we've had to be loud, we've had to scream, we've had to scream louder than we've ever screamed before, you know. And because of that, we've been able to get things done, you know. It means that we've been, yeah. Another thing, like I said earlier, actions speak louder than words. So you could say to a doctor, oh, I'm worried about this person. You need to keep nudging them. You nudge. If you need to go to the GP, you go to the hospital, wherever you've gone. You know, you just push until that person's a lot better, or you've been listened to you actually feel you've been hurt. Yeah, that's just one of, and also a lot of places don't really listen because they don't really understand. But the thing is, now, you know, we are voices, we are advocates for that person that we're looking after. The professionals aren't professionals. We are the professionals, because we have essentially grown. I've grown around Mum, so I know her health a lot better than a lot of other people. So that doesn't mean that I'm a major expert in epilepsy, diabetes, high blood pressure, because I'm really not. But I think when it comes to Mum having a seizure, Mum having diabetes and stuff, I know quite a lot of the symptoms. I know about what affects her the most, you know. So yeah, we've been put in quite a lot of situations where we've had to speak louder this year because quite a lot of stuff has been happening, and now things have died down. Things have been a lot easier, and yeah, so the life lesson is to speak loud, voice your opinion. And yeah, and the other thing is just remember to always, the other life lesson is to take time for yourself. I know that is so difficult with being a carer, it really is. But even if you have to go do yourself a cup of tea, or just, just step into another room for like 30 seconds and go, and yeah, just having time for yourself is so important. It really is. And yeah, so I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, anyway, take care, stay safe. See you all for the next video, which